short video about my oil burner, which will hopefully help to keep me warm during the coming winter. As you see, I have a wood stove, but I have modified it slightly with an intake for oil. What I use at the moment is vegetable oil, which is stored in the can overhead, so it has a gravity feed. And if you see here where the hose ends, I have a small valve which I can open, and then I can see that it drips. So it will either drip directly onto the wood. This will take a while, but it does. Although I think it will burn better if I use a pan. This is a stainless steel pan. It already contains some oil. If the fire is hot enough, you can put it in there and have the oil drip in that. It gasifies and it burns much cleaner. I will try to put the pan into the fire right now, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, I've put the pan in there. It takes a while for it to warm up sufficiently so that the oil starts to burn. There's no drip, but there was an oil residue in the pan which should light up first, and then if it does, I can put on the drip again. Let's see how it goes. Okay, as you see, we have ignition. I've switched on the drip now. So, yeah. I think this burns quite nicely for an oil fire. And also it uses not that much oil. I think this is a nice addition to burning wood. And if you do it like this with a gravity drip feed, then it burns fairly clean and you don't use too much oil. I only need it for heating this relatively small shed, so I don't need a huge big fire. I think this is excellent. And it's also very easy to build, of course. As you see, the oil's dripping. Very slowly. Also because I just lit it, so it's still relatively cold, so not so fluid. I'll probably have to adjust that when it burns somewhat longer and the oil starts to become thinner. But at least I can see how much goes in. I think I didn't get the drip going well enough, so now the fire temporarily went out. Yeah, that's probably also due to the fact that I do not yet filter my oil. These things you have to learn. I've tried to make it go a bit faster. Let's see what happens. Okay, I've loaded some extra wood. I'm going to reopen the drip. I've cleaned it out, so as you see it drips quite nicely now. The wood is starting to burn, and I think it shouldn't be too long before the oil starts to ignite as well. The canister that I use for the drip feed, it holds 3 liters, and it can burn on that for several hours. There we go. So once there's enough heat in the stove from the wood, it is really self-igniting, so you say, and it helps to keep the temperature in there up. And this is really looking like a proper oil fire. Unfiltered oil. If you can speed it up like that, I'll have to wait to find a way to process the oil that I have, which is right now stored in containers like this. And I think once I put it through a very basic filter first. It was this actually. The last bits are still in there. I didn't have time yet to clean it. But so the really big dirty chunks are filtered out. The smaller particles remain, and apparently that's still enough to obstruct the flow of oil, which makes the fire go out every now and then. It is not yet really winter here, so I haven't used the system very much as of yet. It's only still experimental, but looking at the flames, I think I can get a nice amount of additional warmth from it during this winter.